Hello, my name is Salvatore Maniaci, and today I will be showing you my presentation of a summary of a NASA rover that collected rock samples from Mars. Before I begin, I would like to introduce myself. I am a second year student at Wayne State University studying computer science, and I believe this is a very interesting article that a lot of people would be surprised about, and yeah, so before I begin, I would like to show the format of this presentation. So to start with, I will give an introduction and then I'll move on to the main summary / discussion of the article. I'll then move on to the significance of the information and then finish with a conclusion. So beginning with the introduction, the who in this article is the NASA scientists and their rover that they named Perseverance. This rover was dropped onto Mars in Jezero crater, which is a large crater where scientists believe that a river once flowed. They did this to further research Mars and to determine if life ever existed on the planet. And this has been taking place since February of 2021, and it is still going on now. Moving on to the main summary. Perseverance, NASA's rover, arrived on Mars in 2021. And when Perseverance arrived, it was actually much further than from the crater than scientists had hoped. So it took a whole year for the rover to make it to the crater. Once it got there in 2022, it collected 2 rock cores from 2 different spots in the crater, one being Skinner Ridge and the other being Wildcat Ridge. At Skinner Ridge, using the rover's testing tubes, the scientists determined that the material that was collected by the rover was sandstone, as it was a darker material with dark specks of sediments in them, which proved it was sandstone. The next spot they took from, Wildcat Ridge, the material was a lot lighter and more fine, so the scientists determined that this was mudstone. Continuing the summary, Perseverance then continued by searching for organic molecules. The rover did this by digging small holes throughout the crater and allowing the scientists to look into them. They were eventually able to find organic materials within the Jezero crater, and they were concentrated near sulfate minerals. Scientists believe this is because as the river that flew through this crater evaporated, the organic molecules and the sulfate minerals condensed together and were concentrated in certain spots where the river was before. So now Perseverance is searching a location called Enchanted Lake, which it actually has been to before and has collected samples from, but it is going back to get more now. And it will continue collecting rock cores and other materials. So the significance of this, these samples collected by Perseverance are actually the first material samples from another planet that have been collected by humans. And so far through the testing tubes within the rover, scientists believe that 2 of the rock cores contain organic materials, which would prove that life did exist on Mars at one point. As well as other organic materials being found in the ground and on the surface of Mars. So this is very significant, as it's the clearest evidence humans have found to determine if life ever existed on Mars. Unfortunately, though, the rock samples won't be retrieved until 2033, as traveling through space is very expensive and takes a lot of planning. So NASA decided that they'll just continue to allow the rover to collect more samples as the years go along, and then they'll eventually retrieve it in 2033. Moving on to the conclusion, I'll just be going over some of the main points I had in my summary. So Perseverance arrived in 2021, where it eventually collected its 2 rock cores from the Jezero crater. Perseverance is now exploring other regions of Mars, and the cores will not be brought back to Earth until 2033. So Yeah, that's my summary. My name is Salvatore Maniaci, and thank you for listening.